So I'm Shelby Betts. I'm the Director of Business Development here at Patrick Accounting. My expertise kind of layers into talking a lot with business owners as they're in that foundational and fast-growing development track for their business. A lot of times, a small business owner, as they experience growth, that's typically the trigger for them to realize that they may need a different solution than like kind of cobbling together, maybe doing some stuff in-house, maybe an in-house office manager, maybe a tax guy. Whenever growth is happening and good positive growth, all of these different relationships start getting complicated because you're in the middle of translating information, the work is getting larger, so the business is becoming more complex, and so the needs of the business are becoming more complex. Some of the areas of growth, I think, as a small business owner starts to encounter these, they will start to look for outside expertise to help them. One of those is the year that they pay a lot in taxes compared to the year prior. So the first time they have a huge tax payment that they were not prepared for, that tends to have that fear of, oh my gosh, if my business doubles again, if I double again in size, am I gonna have to pay double the taxes? And so that becomes scary. So I think a big tax bill tends to be kind of a trigger for needing a different solution or just thinking about, am I doing all the things that I should be doing? Another trigger tends to be when they need to invest into a business of some kind, and that substantial investment is going to require banking or funding. So if they need a loan, whether that's an SBA loan, an equipment loan, a line of credit, anything that is starting to stretch their cash flow and they're going to need to approach a bank, they're going to start needing a lot of information in order to look like they're a business that the bank should fund or that they should get a loan for. So that also tends to be a good trigger. That could be buying a building, again, buying a big piece of equipment for the operation. It could be as simple as a line of credit so that they can keep growing the business, even though their invoicing is, their selling is outpacing their collections. So that's another trigger. An additional trigger, unfortunately, is notices. So a lot of times if a small business owner gets an IRS notice or they get some type of notice from a federal or state body, that just totally freaks them out, and rightfully so. And so that may just be like, oh gosh, I'm getting notices. Why am I getting notices? Am I missing something? So that can be another key trigger. Adding locations is another trigger. So like if they've got one location and the owner is very operational in that location, whatever type of business it is, everything is running well because the business owner is there. So business owner is there all the time, they are operating, and so they're really keyed in and like clued into everything that's going on in the operation. If they add a second location, they can't be in both places all at once. And so now have they trained and developed somebody to run that little location, that satellite location, as well as location one? The answer is always no, right? Because no one is gonna run it as well as a business owner is. And so there's some friction there with, I no longer have as much insight, I'm not sure what's going on there, am I really clued into those numbers? And so I think adding a location, whether that be a physical location or like putting new people in a different place, but anytime you're kind of expanding in that capacity, that also tends to be another big trigger, I think.